What's up, dudes? It's a Vigorous Q&A. Welcome back. I'm very, very tired, so I'm not entirely sure how long we're going to do it today. We're going to go at least 1.5 hours, trying for two, but 2.5 hours, I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to make it because it's been a crazy week. It's been a really crazy week. Yesterday, I had a seminar with Merrick Health, which was a great success. A lot of people joined into the free webinar over at Merrick Health. I recorded all of it, so I'll ask my editor next week after he's done with the Halo testing video, or maybe I'll edit it myself to put all of that together in high quality because I recorded it with this camera and I used Audacity to record the audio, and I've got all of the high quality slides. So in case you missed it, don't worry. Next week, with all citations, the full webinar will be on my YouTube channel. Let's see. Next week, hopefully, I think we should be able to get the Halo test and deep dive done. It ended up being 1 hour and 10 minutes, but I might trim it down a little bit if there's a lot of overlapping and redundant and regurgitated stuff. So let's see, but it will probably be an hour. Yeah, so stay tuned. I hope you guys liked it. I will have a remake of a previous video called How to Lose Stubborn Body Fat on Particular Areas. So that updated, that will drop on Monday. And that's about it. That's about it for next week. I already started working on the Masteron standalone video in collaboration with Kurt Havens because he's got access to a couple articles and some unique ideas about standalone. So we're slowly going through all of the citations, and then I'll work on that deep dive next. Okay, that's about it. So let's get started. Maximal, new member. Welcome to the Vigorous crew. Let's get started with answering some questions. When would I pick 150 milligrams testosterone? Let me double check if everything's okay. Nobody's complaining. All right. When would I pick 150 milligrams testosterone plus 150 milligrams Primo above 300 test? What goals would best drive that decision? Purely from a cosmetic perspective, because I would say, um, if all things are equal, but you change from 150 Primo to 300 test, right? So that's the same amount of anabolic androgenic steroid, discounting for the estrogen molecular weight, that kind of stuff. I would say purely from a cosmetic appearance. Now, on 300 test, you probably need an aromatase inhibitor because many people would convert to superphysiological levels to the point you might have a gynecomastia, water retention, right, acne, all the bad stuff associated with estradiol. Whereas at 150 test and 150 Primo, it might inhibit the conversion of testosterone into estradiol too much because 150 test, generally speaking, doesn't really need an aromatase inhibitor. So you might end up with an estradiol level of what, 35, 40 picograms per milliliter, which is good, nice, top of the reference range. But then you throw 150 milligrams Primo on top, and then your estradiol might be 20 or 17, right? So blood work before and after, maybe 200 test and 100 Primo if your estrogen ends up being too low. And otherwise, run 300 tests and an aromatase inhibitor, let's say 6.25 milligrams exemestane aromasin 2 or 3 times per week. That will probably be significantly cheaper, right? So if it's off season, 300 test and an aromatase inhibitor, and if you're trying to cut down and you want to have those freaky abs with veins all over them, then 150 test and 150 Primo or 200 test and 100 Primo. You'll look a little bit better, but probably splitting hairs. Okay, let's answer some member questions. Jizz asks, does nandrolone lower serum progesterone? Yes, it does. Yeah, all steroids lower progesterone levels because they shut down your HPTA. And in the absence of luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone, your mitochondria and your adrenal glands might not produce as much pregnenolone anymore. And thus, progesterone levels go down, right? It's pregnenolone, progesterone, or DHEA, and then DHEA is testosterone, estradiol, dihydrotestosterone, whereas progesterone goes into aldosterone, cortisol, corticosterone, and other glucocorticoids and mineralocorticoids. So it lowers progesterone in that sense, but on unsensitive tests, nandrolone might detect as progesterone or it might detect as estrogen. So go for a high sensitivity test. And otherwise, if your progesterone levels come back low, your pregnenolone levels and DHEA sulfate or DHEA levels come back low, look at do supplementation with pregnenolone and DHEA to bring your progesterone levels to normal levels again. Right? And that can be achieved with 10 milligrams up to 25 milligrams pregnenolone in most cases. Next one. Joe Mack Truck asks, you should check out Battle Beasts and Beasts in Black. Power metal always gets me pumped. All right. Yes, I will make a note and look for some more music for my upcoming workouts. Thank you very much. Joe Mike Chark also asks, running testosterone cypionate at 175 milligrams per week and Cardarine on occasion. When would I need to stop to pass the drug test? Is it better? Is there a better protocol for strength and endurance competition? Is a year away. So, um, again, in the Cardarine deep dive, I mentioned that think that the detection time is up to 5 months. I remember reading an article published in 2012 that I can't seem to find anywhere now, where athletes failed for Cardarine 5 months after their last dose. But if you go through the scientific literature based on a single dose of Cardarine, the detection time is what, 40 to 50 days? Already forgot it. I have to look at my notes, but that's a single dose. I mean, who the fuck is going to run a single dose of Cardarine if you want to improve endurance, stamina, and fat loss? And testosterone cypionate, let me pull that up. I have the detection times for that one here. I think it's a couple months. Testosterone cypionate is 3 months. Yeah, same as testosterone enanthate. So stop the Cardarine, right? 5 months out, at least, ideally 6 months, but you might still fail. And testosterone cypionate at least 3 months. And then, of course, well, you can switch to testosterone propionate, which has a detection time of, what was it, 2 weeks, I think. Let me double check. Right, testosterone propionate is 2 weeks, just like HCG. And then after that, you could run, let's see, DHEA and pregnenolone that only has a 1 week detection time, but pregnenolone is not on the doping test or on the doping list. And then there's testosterone suspension, might have a detection time of 4 days, 5 days, or 6 days, depending on how much scar tissue you inject it in. So these are all things you can look into. And of course, amoxapine and hypoxin and injectable carnitine. Those are all good, nootropics slash endurance optimizers, which are not on the doping list. So you could run those instead of Cardarine. All right, next one. Luan Fronson asks, hey, Steve, do you have any experience with the peptide MOTS-c? Yes, I have many experience for athletes. And yes, I've recommended it many a time also. I tried it for a month, but not sure if it really did anything. Maybe it was a bad compound, or maybe it's not as good as a mitochondria booster. I got some crazy allergic reaction. Okay, so if you get the crazy allergic reaction, that's definitely MOTS-c. So maybe it didn't work for you, right? I mean, it's a peptide that the mitochondria would normally secrete to help with metabolism of the surrounding tissue, or basically the body, so it could feed the mitochondria. So basically, you're injecting a peptide that the mitochondria produce to tell you, the host body, to increase metabolism to the point the mitochondria can feed. Right? And mitochondria don't only just work on fatty acids and glucose. I mean, you have to look into the Krebs cycle for a complete breakdown of all of that. But I also work on cholesterol and other things. So if you got a crazy allergic reaction, I'm going to assume that the MOTS-c is legit, because that's the unfortunate reality of MOTS-c. And that's one of the reasons why I discontinued it, because you inject it intramuscular sub-Q, and then sometimes you get like fucking hives, which is really disgusting, and you feel a little bit off and just overstimulated. But it could be that it didn't work for you, right? Maybe you need to look into a nicotinamide mononucleotide or nicotinamide riboside or injectable NAD plus intravenously, or ubiquinol around the workout, or the 5-amino-1-MQ to help with NAD plus recycling in adipose tissue. So, right, multiple things you can look into. Right, and if it didn't work, then just go to the next compound. It's that simple. Let's see. Maximal asks, hey, Steve, initially lowered estradiol from 99 to 28 by switching to daily 35 milligrams testosterone enanthate injections and taking aromasin. Started to test Masteron E-cycle, mistakenly took 600 milligrams, double the dose of Masteron, plus 200 tests, no AI in 5 days, estrogen surged back up to 98. How's that possible? Sub-Q pinning, body fat percentage 12 to 15%. So in some people, it might be that Masteron doesn't inhibit the conversion of testosterone into estradiol. I believe Dr. Todd Lee never experienced such an effect, whereas other people, they notice it's a tremendous reduction. Now, Masteron enanthate is also commonly faked with testosterone propionate. So if you go from, what was it? 35 milligrams a test, so that's what, 35 times 7, 250 milligrams a week, and then 600 milligrams mass, which might be testosterone propionate, 300 milligrams, plus 200 milligrams a test. So you double the test, right, from 250 to 500, assuming your Masteron or your Masteron enanthate at 200 milligrams per 1 milliliter is mislabeled 100 milligrams per 1 milliliter testosterone propionate. Quick calculation, it's 500 milligrams testosterone per week. And then, yes, absolutely, your estrogen will be 98 within a couple days. So for now, add in an aromatase inhibitor back in and then see how you respond. Because Masteron unique characteristics, obviously, is that it makes you flat a little bit, it makes you urinate a lot, it potentiates a good amount of hair loss or acne, and especially at this dose at 600 milligrams to start, you might be in a good hormonal roller coaster to the point you get some acne. So write it out. Take an aromatase inhibitor now at the exact same protocol you were doing before, because you got your estradiol down from 99 to 28, and taking an aromatase inhibitor. So do the exact same protocol, and then go in for blood work 4 weeks down the line. See what happens. Because if that old aromatase inhibitor protocol still gives you high estradiol, then the Masteron is probably testosterone propionate. All right. So do additional blood work and then see what you need to adjust. BPC-157 thoughts. I think you should watch the BPC-157 video instead of asking me. I'll link it down below. It's only 40 minutes long. And I think it's one of the best compounds you can run, even though all of the scientific evidence is performed on rodents. One human study. All right, it's linked down below, right at the top. And the super chat flood has started. Hugario, would taking finasteride, dutasteride in early 20s hinder some androgenic effects you would otherwise experience in the face, voice, etc., or are they already finished? No, no. DHT will have a progressive effect on your overall facial hair and chest hair and masculinity and overall virilization of you as a male. So I would not take it. I would not take finasteride, dutasteride, period. If you want to take dutasteride, combine it with ketoconazole shampoo at what was it, or minoxidil shampoo at 0.5%. You'll have to make that yourself because these formulas are not available. All you have to do is go to some of the hair loss forums or the hair loss websites, and they'll teach you exactly how to make your own minoxidil plus dutasteride shampoo. So look into that. So you have an androgen receptor blocker and a 5-alpha reductase inhibitor, and that seems to work 10 times better than taking finasteride or dutasteride orally and basically killing your dick. Yeah, for longer periods of time. So I would not go this route. Plus, finasteride and dutasteride are steroidogenesis inhibitors, which I also made a video about. Let me link it down below. Steroidogenesis. Where is it? Oh, Genesis. The real reason why you feel fucked up. Yeah, can lead to steroid hormone deficiencies. Man, it just goes right to the proper area. So I would only consider those as a last resort. You need a little bit of DHT for hair growth and masculinity and overall libido and erectile quality. So again, look into topical solutions, not into oral solutions. If you want oral, be on the receiving end. Yeah, got it? Yeah, Jane Water agrees. I'm sure she's promoting our OnlyFans. There we go. YouTube guru. All right. Hopefully you're not a troll account, Jane. I get too many of those. Octavian, PD daddy. Yes. Yes, your online story daddy. Jizz. I love this username, man. Look at this. All right. Being a 40-year-old fart. I love my word jokes. All right. More member questions. Hey, Steve, what would you recommend on top of antibiotics for site injection infection? Went to the doctor and did not drain the abscess. What you recommend a high dosage of glutathione? Where does glutathione have antimicrobial properties? I already made a video about this, but I can't remember what it is called. I think it's like 5 ancillaries all people should have in mandatory ancillaries everybody should have in stock. There you go. Should maybe redo this video. 23,000 views in 3 years. Yeah, maybe. Okay, I'll add it to the to-do list. Basically, amoxicillin and Keflex, which is what is it called? Cephalexin. Yeah, cephalexin and amoxicillin with clovenate, amoxicillin clavulanate acid. Yeah, that's the one. I linked the video down below. I describes everything on how to take care of these soft tissue injection infections. Respect yourself and throw whatever it was causing it in the trash, right? So it won't happen again. Don't roll the dice. Don't say, it only happened once. It's never going to happen again. That's basically taking your ex-girlfriend back that was cheating on you, right? We all can agree that the same thing, exact same thing is going to happen again. So throw the steroids in trash. So it's amoxicillin and cephalexin, yeah, for these kinds of infections. But please watch the video. Kratos, I like how you always include everything, right? This is what I like to see. Kratos knows that every time he asks a question, he puts everything in the super chat as detailed as possible. So, Kratos, jacked in the thumbnail, 5'7", 228 pounds, looks 240 in my opinion. 2 grams of steroids, hell yeah. 8 IUs of growth, perfect synergy. 100 micrograms T4, 25 micrograms T3. I hope you're splitting up those dosages. 30 IUs of Lantus, and thyroid stimulating hormone is 3.9. Okay. Free T4 is 0.78. It's a little bit on the low side. And free T3, 2.9. Weight also dropped 4 pounds in 2 weeks. Adjustments. Let's see. I would add in more food. Increasing with 10%, which is another 525 calories. And maybe you need a little bit of essential amino acids during the workouts. Now, again, your thyroid stimulating hormone might not change from this adjustment, but your weight will certainly come up. It looks like your energy expenditure has now reached a point where you're recomping on this particular protocol. And you might need to add in more food. Right? And you may have to adjust your Lantus dose based on your glucose changes after increasing the food. So, well, and I don't see any fast-acting insulin in there. Just saying, add in maybe 500 calories as an inter-workout shake, high brand cyclic dextrins and essential amino acids, and maybe a small amount of glycerol or MCT powder to kind of slow the digestion down, right? These are all hidden traits, a good amount of electrolytes. You take like, I don't know, 2, 3 IUs, 5 IUs, fast-acting insulin, Humalog, pre-workout, about an hour, and then you start shipping your shake right as you start warming up for your workout. Maybe that can tip the needle and put your 4 pounds back on, and then add in another 4 pounds, right? And if you keep stalling in weights, then add more food. Yeah, you might end up at 7,000 calories, man. It, yeah, it's that's the reality of off season. You know, sometimes your metabolism just goes rampant, and then either you need to add in a little bit of fat with each meal, even though you're using insulin, right? I mean, you look lean, your body fat levels are low based on the pictures, and with this amount of steroids and this amount of growth hormone and thyroid medication, maybe you need to add a little bit of fat, 5 grams with meals in the form of olive oil or macadamia nut oil, or maybe a little bit of seeds and mixed nuts, and that could tip the needle to get your weight back up. But keep track of your blood glucose levels, because increasing your fat intake too much could also worsen your insulin sensitivity. So, yeah, keep all of that in mind. Kusha, does TRT have a positive or negative effect on the veins and the arteries of the heart and brain? Well, TRT, man, if you overdo the aromatase inhibitors and you kill or you crush your serum estradiol, which has a cardioprotective effect in the endothelium, and of course also keeps your lipids favorable, then yes, that's not a good practice to do on TRT. And you can crush your estradiol levels by overdoing the proviron or the aromatase inhibitors, right? Or doing TRT plus and then you slam a boatload of Masteron on top, or Primo for that matter. So this could be a case. I mean, TRT can increase your blood pressure, which, of course, has a negative effect on the veins and the arteries. But if you're under doctor supervised TRT and you're not experiencing any systemic inflammation, which can damage the inside of your arteries, watch the carrier oil video, right? It's actually some new information for the fitness industry, not just regurgitating studies. That's actual experience. All right, I'll link it down below. Watch that one. If your inflammatory markers are low, then I would say that you're not at a risk. Really. And if you're doing TRT and you adopted a lifestyle of healthy eating and keeping your blood pressure under control, then I would say you overall would have a positive net outcome on your health. And I wouldn't worry about veins or arteries to the heart or brain. Assuming that your inflammatory markers are low and your serum calcium levels are under control and your lipids are under control as well. Alexander Carrera. I had anaphylaxis last 2 times I tried MOTS-c. Yeah, I experienced that myself. It's fucking brutal. So this is one of the reasons why I stopped it, because after a while you get the same anxiety that you get from train cough, where you're like, is this the one that's going to hit? And then where I'm on the floor in the fetus position, coughing up a storm. And with MOTS-c, I think I had anaphylaxis once, and you're laying on the couch with a swollen tongue. It's fucking disgusting, So I know it has a lot of benefits, but you might have to wait like 10 minutes after reconstitution to inject it, which the longer you wait, the more it loses potency. I think that time I got anaphylaxis, I reconstituted in the same syringe. Right? You draw with the insulin syringe, you squirt it in, and then you mix it, and you just take it out with the same insulin syringe. So it was reconstituted for what, a minute or two, and then I went intramuscular, and I had to lay on the couch. Yeah, it was not fun. So be forewarned, guys. That's what I always mention when we talk about MOTS-c. Adverse effects. Tobias Larson, running 500 tests, 400 Primo, good blood work, blood pressure issues, and high heart rate with 80 milligrams Telmisartan, doing cardio daily. Should I add in a bival or increase Telmisartan dose? Increase injection frequency. Okay, so in this case, if you're already on 80 milligrams Telmisartan, there's two things that could be autocorrect, if not caps. Oh, okay. God damn it. Autocorrection strikes again. I thought you were yelling at me, but it's okay. You paid me, so you can yell all you want. So with this much telmisartan, the blood pressure issues could either be from a magnesium and calcium imbalance or deficiency, or you're getting a severe inflammatory response from the 4 to 6 cc's of injectables that you're taking. Right? If you're taking underground labs, the carrier oil deep dive you should watch. 250 tests per 1 cc and 100 milligrams Primo per 1 cc, resulting in 6 cc's. If you have good blood work, maybe you didn't check your C-reactive protein levels, right? But if you did, then you can obviously you forgo that. Then it's not the carrier oil. And if you still have blood pressure issues, then I would start looking into supplementation with magnesium, or maybe take a week off, because maybe your blood pressure is elevated because you're overtrained, right? This also results in an elevated heart rate. You just need a week off and rest, which is difficult to do when you're already on 500 tests and 400 Primo, because all you want to do is train, 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 train. I get it. Feel free to increase the injection frequency, so you lower the dose on a given day. And right, if you're doing 2 times a week, that's what, 250 tests and 200 Primo Monday, Friday. Maybe take a week off, start supplementing with some magnesium, and look into high calcium foods. And then right, you change your injection frequency. And then if your blood pressure issues, your blood pressure is still high and you still have a high resting heart rate, then I'm not against adding in 5 milligrams of Bivol, but I would cut your telmisartan down to 40 milligrams, because now you're lowering your heart rate, and the Bivol also has an overlapping effect in blood pressure reduction. And then within a week of use, and ideally on your blood work, you should have a firm grasp on your serum potassium levels, because both telmisartan and Bivol have a risk of hyperkalemia. And when you combine them together with a bodybuilding diet that's high in potassium, hyperkalemia could definitely set in. So keep that in mind. All right, next one. Nick Page, how long for nuts to come back when coming off the God juice? I love gear and what it does, but not to my gains and my joints, but to my Johnson. Okay. I watched the video about nuts shrinking. the cure for tiny nuts and loads on cycle. I literally have a video on everything. I just stop posting videos and you guys use the search function. Nah, yeah, there's many more videos to make. Don't worry. So run HCG and a follicle stimulating hormone recombinant version, and then your nuts will be nice and full. All right. Use a little bit of taurine, selenium. You probably get enough from your diet. What is it? Vitamin E, carnitine, magnesium, zinc. That all helps with testicular function. So if you're going to stimulate it from two receptors, right, the luteinizing hormone chorionic gonadotropin receptor, which is a combination LH and HCG receptor, and then the FSH receptor, let's say 500 IUs HCG every other day, alternated with 75 IUs FSH. Your nuts will grow, but you obviously need the micronutrients for your testicles to function correctly. And well, your Johnson will work extra favorably because your libido will be sky high. Yeah, and then you can put all of that juice to work. But if you're coming off the gut juice, then yeah, the problem with PCT is that you kind of feel like ass. And even then, LH and FSH might take some time to really kick back and restoring testicular function. I have also a video about PCT. Give that a watch. And an ebook about it. So you can purchase that after you watch the video and you want some more information. All right, here we go. 50 fucking dollars. Michael Waters, no question. Maybe next week. Okay, please remind me that you super chatted 50 bucks, so I'll include I'll include that question free of charge next week. Just wanted to say thank you for all the great content. Serious game changers is ordered to our full panel over at Merrick. Michael Waters, thank you very much for your support. I really appreciate it. Messages like this means a lot to me. And that Merrick Health seminar webinar that I did yesterday that will be online on my YouTube channel sometime next week. So hopefully your blood work results are good. And if Dr. Adam Hotchkiss or some of the other patient care coordinators can't figure it out for you because you're self-prescribing a boatload of steroids, you know where to find me. And let me know. Well, I remember the name Michael Waters. We'll work something out. Because 50 bucks is a fuckload of money for a super chat, baby. Bodybuilder Leo, what's up? Good morning. I wish it was morning. It's at 12:30 midnight. Do you think Samson should go to Hani Rambot? Do you think Hani Rambot is going to take a top three? He's already happy with Hadi and he's already happy with Derek Lunsford. He's not going to take Samson out of principle. So what I think Samson should do is hire Stephen Kinsel, the boss of Outlaw. He's in Europe. Their time zones are very close together. Stephen Kinsel just did a killer job with Wesley Vissers. I mean, he was fucking peeled. Fucking peeled. He really came into his own and everybody was writing him off. I was a huge fan for many years. And guess what? He won two Arnolds back to back. And now I think he's in the running for the Mr. Olympia. Will he be first place this year? I mean, C-Bum is hard to beat, and the C-Bum is with Hani Rambot, who doesn't miss, at least not for finals. Sometimes he misses with prejudging, but if prejudging is on, then finals is definitely on. And I mean, Chris Bumstead for finals last year looked absolutely stellar. So I think Samson should go with Stefan Kinsel. Is that the correct name? I always say, remember, boss of Outlaw. Yeah, Stefan Kinsel. I mean, that guy's knows his shit, man. I've seen him coach more and more people, and they're all diced, right? And they all look healthy, and they all look happy on stage. Urs Kalsinski was a little bit over dieted and probably took too much diuretics. But again, sometimes you miss. Sometimes you miss. These guys have to make weight. He's worked with Nathan Diasha and Jordan Peters, and who else is he working with? I think, yeah, he's also working with Martin Fitzwater, right? I mean, all these guys look fucking stellar. So he is one of those new age, next level coaches that is keeping up to date with the latest developments. And I wish that team the best. So I think Samson should move to Stefan Kinsel. That will be the best because, I have a feeling that these old coaches don't really keep up with the latest developments. And and Hani Rambod, I'm sure, is keeping up. Hani Rambod doesn't leave any stone unturned. So, right, if Hani Rambod is the coach to beat, then you got to do some fucking research and stay up to date. And I think Stefan Kinzel is definitely doing that based on how his clients are coming in. I mean, Wesley looked absolutely killer. Luan Jarshi Frunson, thank you for the answers. Definitely will go to the next uh, competition. And yes, I got a small hill popping out of my ass cheek from the injection. All right, you asked about the infection, right? Was that you? Oh no, it's the MOTS-c. You asked about the MOTS-c. Yeah, it's unfortunate because feel it's a highly beneficial peptide, but you know, if it didn't really work for you, then just look into something else. All right, where was I? David Fry, Steve, blood glucose of 115, 117 nanograms per deciliter fasted on 3 IU's generic growth hormone for 2 months. Is this overly high? Yes. Yes, this is not good. How long can you stay like that? No, no. Fasted cardio starting tomorrow. Let's see how fast your fasted blood glucose levels come down. Maybe time the generic GH before activity, intramuscular administration about an hour, so you can mitigate some of the free form fatty acids which are being liberated from the growth hormone. And that way, your blood glucose level should come down by increasing activity and timing your growth hormone administrations smartly. We're not going to keep this elevated. We're not going to patiently wait until our hemoglobin A1C is 7% and our fasting insulin levels are like 50 when they should be 2.5 to 5. Now you have the results. Now you got to take affirmative action. So get busy. Noise eyebrows. You guys have no idea. Do you guys remember I Can't Dance from Genesis? And then the guy's like doing this and this. I can only do one side. Yeah, with both sides. Oh, man. That's really difficult because it's not a mirror. Anyway, when Genesis made that video, I Can't Dance, I spent hours in front of the mirror as yeah, I was, I think, 6 or 8 years old, trying to do this. And then at one point, I got it within 2 weeks or something. And then I went to school doing this all the time. And people loved it. Yeah. Things you learn from TV, from MTV, no less. Octavian, you have to redo all the videos where you had a hair coach. It's like looking at a different person. Yeah. Yeah, we're redoing a lot of the videos that have a lot of views, and then we'll work our way down. But unfortunately, the last couple of videos that I redid didn't really get so many views. But I have a feeling it's from the Dr. Parsley podcast where we discussed, um, let's say, self-deletion prevention. And I was stupid to not remove those words. And you know how YouTube is. They mute you again. So I feel that I'm muted now because I was getting 10,000 views per video, sometimes 25,000 views in a 24-hour period, and now I'm done 6,000. This platform, sometimes you want to punch through the screen and choke whoever's on the other side. Are you still friends with AP? Hell yes. Me and AP talk frequently. Good people, man. Let's see. One, another peptide question. For fighters who go through head trauma on a daily basis, would you prefer Selank or Semax? Actually, I would go straight to cerebrolysine, or maybe something completely different. Yes, cerebrolysine. And what would be the most cost effective? Don't worry about cost. If you want a good deal, go with bulk, right? Unfortunately, we can't mention most of the peptide websites which I'm affiliated in anymore because YouTube has restrictions. Right, and if you mess with the restrictions, they restrict your YouTube channel, and that's what we're trying to prevent. So, find the Control F source list. It's still live on my website. Scroll through there. Look for cerebrolysine, 5 milliliters to 10 milliliters following a fight, and then maybe a low maintenance dose of 2 milliliters per day intramuscularly. Again, it's all intramuscular administrations when your sparring season is undergoing. And then Selank and Semax, I would just completely forego because the brain-derived neurotropic factor stimulation that you get out of that is inferior greatly to injecting brain-derived neurotropic factor in the form of cerebrolysine. This is why cerebrolysine is usually prescribed in case of severe head trauma for a multitude of different causes, and not Semax or Selank. Ilya, why some gear hurts when you pin it? Carrier oil. Yeah, could be the carrier oil, could be the concentration, could be an over concentration of benzyl benzoate or benzyl alcohol, could be that it's crystallized, could be, some formulations are just more painful, like dihydroboldenone or trestolone, right? They used to be very painful injections. I think it's been, a little bit better as of the last couple of years, but I think the first couple of batches from 10 years, 8 years ago, those were pretty brutal from what I've heard. And of course, virgin muscle tissue is always going to hurt, right? Your body needs to kind of get used to injecting a foreign substance into the intramuscular space. So, um, right, if your gear is good and it's not the carrier oil and the potency and the purity, there's no bacteria, no heavy metals, it's all high quality, but you still get post-injection pain, then it probably means that your virgin muscle just need to adapt and you need to persist, or you could switch to subcutaneous administrations. If that hurts in there, then at least it's not limiting the range of motion, because pitting in the glutes or the quads or the delts or the lats or the chest, and you got terrible post-injection pain, I mean, how are you going to train, let's see. Josh Barr. Steve, I was wondering if you had advice for heel, Achilles, soleus pain. I've done personal training, but only mild improvements over months. Can I BPC the calf? Hmm. I am not sure. I'm not sure if it's like adhesions of the tendons that is connected to the knees or the heels. If you've done PT, maybe it's not been aggressive enough. Maybe you need grass on technique, deep tissue massage therapy, right? That usually resolves it. Maybe magnesium, potassium, calcium deficiency can also cause like cramps or tightness of the muscle, particularly magnesium deficiency, because that helps to relax the muscle. Maybe you just need to lay off your feet for a week and kind of let that heal. Put it on your pillow, put your feet up, watch some YouTube, kind of chill, instruct the wife to make you a sandwich. Don't go anywhere. Just watch my YouTube channel and watch all the videos and leave a like and a comment while you're at it. And then see if it gets any better. And if not, there's always BPC-157 and TB500, which can lower the inflammation and improve blood circulation. And then over time, it might be able to reduce the pain, right? But you have to address the root cause of the pain first before you throw in the peptides, because if you don't address the root cause, then the peptides are just going to mask the pain, but not resolve it, right? They're healing peptides, not, well, they're curing to a certain extent. But if the if the root cause is too severe for the peptides to heal, then you're just masking the problem. And as soon as you stop the peptides, the problem is going to come back. Ah. All right, 200 people in the chat. Are you guys liking? Do we have 200 likes? Luckily, I can't tell because I'm on StreamYard, but I hope you guys are liking. Why are high brands cyclic dextrins preferred for intra-workout? Why would they be preferred over glucose and fructose? So apparently the molecular structure makes it look like a cone, and as the cone, sorry, as the cone goes into a skeletal muscle, it tends to pull the amino acids behind it. So you get a pro-drug delivery methods of the glucose and the branched chain cyclic dextrins. I believe that the rate of absorption is a little bit slower than glucose or fructose. So the glycemic load, glycemic index is a little bit lower. So that gives a more sustained release, especially if you drink it intra-workout, you sip it, in between sets. And it is probably the reason why high-brain cyclic dextrins is one of the ingredients of Febreze, because when you spray Febreze in the couch, it kind of pulls all the scent with it, right? That's the whole philosophy of using high-brand cyclic dextrins. That being said, they can cause some gastrointestinal upset if you overdo it. So again, sip it, don't gulp it. Next one. How would you go about making orals like oxandrolone into a solution that has good subcutaneous bioavailability? I wouldn't inject ethanol and DMSO, man. But if you want to do a transdermal, then yes, I think ethanol and DMSO, but I've never done anything like that. So um, maybe Base Killer Online has something like this. Maybe Chase Iron has something like this in his Discord. but I'm not entirely sure how to make a topical solution of Nandrolone, even though based on the molecular weight, technically it should be able to permeate through the skin. Guts. What is the most sustainable compound for high aggression central nervous system drive? Halotestin, but it's not very sustainable. I had 2 weeks. Again, I just did a halotestin deep dive, and Ty and Clark was, um, let's say, 99% correct with a couple exceptions. So it appears based on the scientific literature that halotestin is reasonably safe, but the scientific literature paper thin, so it hasn't been extensively investigated in the context of health or aggression or hair loss. And just because one study says there was no virilization or no hair loss, that doesn't mean that it is, right? I did a meta-analysis of all of the studies. Give that video a watch. And I still would, stick to the tried and proven, method of running Halo test in 2 weeks, leading into a contest, or maybe a couple days leading into an MMA fight or another contact sports fight. And sustainable compounds for high aggression, well, Trembolone, 6 to 8 weeks, man. 225 milligrams per week. You'll be fucking aggressive. Yeah. And central nervous system drive will certainly be there because it puts you in this perpetual fight or flight state, and that helps with central nervous system stimulation. Also, feel free to supplement with a little bit of L-tyrosine to produce additional dopamine, norepinephrine, and epinephrine, which also help with CNS drive. Joshua, is your Vigorous panel on Merck Health still? I couldn't find it. Yes, it's linked down below, dude. It's linked down below. You go to Merck Health/Vigorous. It's right there. Let me double check. Maybe they deleted it after yesterday's webinar. No, it's still there. Man, look at that sexy body. Man, I was jacked. 2 lab panels. One is $360 and the other one is $750 because it contains all of the markers. So if you just want to do a checkup, do the cheap one. And if you want to do the full checkup and qualify for hormone replacement therapy, if everything is off or a couple things are off, then do the full one. Yeah. I want to get on top of my blood work on 250 milligrams testosterone and Tate. What should I check monthly? Okay, so I would check the budget panel for now, the $360 one. And then depending on what's off, you can check lipids and estradiol or sexual binding globulin maybe every month, right? I go in for full blood work every month. Basically, even now that I'm off gear because, I don't know, I'm just go so often. I mean, look at this. You see, fucking holes in my. I mean, there's nothing to report, so I don't make a video about it. I just get the data and move on with my life, because it's cheap. It's cheap, and I get the results the same day. Right? Merrick Health might need a week or 2 weeks, depending on the markers that you checked. But here in Thailand, a same day or the next day. So, and then I don't always do a complete full panel, right? I don't check my cancer markers every month. It would be useless. I do that once per year. But you do, like, let's say, a proper panel every 3 months, and then you check what else is needed later on. So let me link you an article on my website, which is called Medical Screening Required Before the First Cycle. That's basically the full one. I'll link it down below. And then, see what you feel is relevant. But I would check complete blood count, liver function, kidney function, lipids, and hormone levels, at least in C-reactive protein and hemoglobin A1C, and then take it from there. All right. Ilya, how far are we behind? Oh, we're 20 minutes behind. Holy shit. Sorry, guys, but there's a lot of questions. Hey, Steve, healthy 26-year-old male, never had serious health issues, 350 milligrams testosterone and Tate, 300 Primo, all good. Planning to add in 2 to 4 IUs growth hormone long term. Is checking tumor markers a good idea before introducing growth hormone? Sorry, message cut in half. Yeah, it's always good to do. Right, it's always good to do. I think I checked my cancer markers not when I started running growth hormone because I was still in Holland. You know how the medical system is there. Oh my God. Yeah, socialism. Almost socialism. So yeah, if you can check your cancer markers, just do it. Yeah, it's linked in the article down below. I also go over the cancer markers right there. I mean, even have an index, so you can just go to 3 cancer marker screening, and you get all of the links and the video where I discussed that you should do preventative cancer marker screening. So give that video a watch and have a look at the article link down below. And then if you're good, then and there's no cancer in your family, then you probably don't have to retest it. Let's say 3 years. And then around the age of 30, you test it again, and then 33, 36, 39. And then as you get older and maybe family members do start to develop cancer, then you become a hypochondriac. And you go in for cancer marker screening every year. Captain Flint. I like these green text because it matches my shirt. It's the same. Now this microphone looks like it's floating. Yeah, there you go. Captain Flint, where are all the research-based channels against bro splits when 90% of all the pros train with body part splits and push-pull legs? Is bro split that bad? No, people just want to reinvent the wheel. Oh, this paper showed that bro split is the best. Guys, there's a million ways to train. You know what the most sustainable way to train is? The most fun way. Right? And if you get intense satisfaction of training a certain way that's also evidence-based, go for it. Right? The best training split is the one that makes you fucking huge. And it could be a bro split, could be a push-pull leg, could be upper lower body split, could be legs 3 times a week and arms once per week, and the rest just magically grows because you're a genetic freak. Just do what works. Figure out what works, and use these research-based channels as a source of information. But if the information doesn't jive with your basic human biology, and you figure out that doing 21s for biceps is the way to go, and Bulgarian split squats while looking up in the sky and wearing a chain around your neck, right? Whatever works, dude. I do the most weirdest exercises, and I'm sure those research-based channels would love to get a hold of my training footage and then point the finger I'm doing it wrong. But I'm the one who is enjoying my life, and they're not. Yeah. Otherwise, they wouldn't be butthurt about somebody else's training strategy when I just go to the gym and have fun. Dude, I don't even take steroids. So, fuck. I did like 3.5 plates hip thrust today. That felt great. Did you see that Andrew Tate got deported? Oh, really? I thought he was under trial in Romania. Dave or Andrew Tate, not Dave Tate. Dave Tate is one of the good people over at Elite FTS. Deported. I thought he wanted to leave Romania before his trial. Oh, Dave Tate to be extradited to the UK after Romanian court. All right. Oh, this is, guys, when you have a certain view, you remember the rules of Fight Club. Right? Rule number 1 and 2, don't talk about Fight Club. So just keep your fucking mouth shut. And well, the Andrew Tate, I mean, he scammed a boatload of people with his, pretending to be the girls that, they thought they were talking to the girls when in reality they were talking to Andrew Tate. And then he was scamming them out of thousands of dollars. And he's had that, those webcam sites. And now he wants to pivot 180 degrees and tell men how to be men, when in reality he took money from men. Fucking hypocrite, dude. And you know what the problem is with guys like Andrew Tate with his university? Every fucking day I have to block 20 people who want to be copywriters. It's exhausting, dude. It's fucking exhausting. I wish those guys would just fucking go away. But every fucking day, emails upon emails. Oh, you want to improve your YouTube channel? You want to copyright? You want to write an email? You want? Fuck off, dude. You have no fucking experience. All right. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. This is a fun moment, the Vigorous Q&A. James Braverman, how would you go about making orals? Now, we already discussed this, buddy. I don't know. Sometimes I'm 20 minutes behind. So, Maximal. I like your thumbnail, man. Yeah, Ethereum gains. How long does it take for the effects to wear off from potentially fake Masteron I took? As a side effect, I also have a lot of pain in my wrist, which I didn't have before. Maybe this tells you something. Could be inflammation. Right? We don't know, man. Going for blood work again in 2 weeks, see what happens. And if you want to metabolize it, I mean, it depends on what the fake Masteron is. If it's testosterone propionate, it's gone in 2 weeks, right? Based on the detection time. So maybe stop taking it. Maybe look for a better source in the meantime. Maybe go with pharmaceutical Primo instead, because Primo is Bay, right? Pharmaceutical Bay or Remobol, and that's Bay. And maybe the pain in the wrist is just caused by something else of you training harder, and now you associate wrist pain with fake Masteron, but that could be completely something entirely different. right? So give yourself 2 weeks and then see how things play out. Jesus Christ, Stefan is a great coach. Man, I talked about this with my wife about changing my name from Stefan to really Steve on my passport. Um, every time I hear Stefan, it's like an old me, like a guy that I don't like anymore. Guy that used to live in Holland was fucking miserable. I'm Steve now, Alex. I'm Steve, Vigorous Steve. Actually, I can change my name to Steve Vigorous to start a whole new lineage. I already looked into the cost, and it's very affordable. But you know what's annoying? If you change your name, right, you change all the letters. I mean, and you have to change your passport. And then also I had to change my marriage certificate and my visa and all my bank accounts and all my insurance and anything that costs money, right? You have to tell them with, a letter of confirmation that you changed your name legally. And it will be like a week of work, a week that I don't have. I mean, I barely sleep. Um, all right, Ilya, should one inject growth hormone cold straight from the fridge or leave it in the syringe at room temperature 20? Just inject it cold, man. Your body will heat it up. Yeah, don't worry about it. That's what you get for raping your body, Callum. What happened? Well, Octavian, you deal with it. I didn't see any super chats. All right, SS31 is a great alternative to On MOTS-c. Yeah, I ran the SS31, but I didn't notice fuck all about it. Alex, can you, when we're done with this Vigorous Q&A, maybe on the next Vigorous Q&A, write a little report on SS31 when I post the link in the member section, right, the community section. And then let's give that a discussion. I'll do a little bit more research because it's been a while, and I ran it for a while way back then, but I didn't really notice anything. I know that Dr. Dilkhan was using SS31 to upregulate mitochondrial function. So if you have a good experience and Alexander Carrera loves to experiment like I do, then please write out a little trip report or a PED report, and then we can discuss that next week. I'll do some more research. Best cycle purely for strength, 500 test, 200 train. Yeah, throw in another 500 milligrams boldenone, and then they use GABA to take the anxiety off, and then 30 milligrams Superdrol per day. Right? We're not caring about health here. We're caring about strength. 500 test, 500 boldenone, 225 train per week, and then 30 milligrams Superdrol, and you'll be tearing up tanks like your major Monaco in Ghost in the Shell. Yeah. Fuck, that scene was fucking epic. Yeah, all the 80s kids remember. Pure Bliss, what type of training PD would you avoid if you had enlarged aorta? I was told no more heavy lifting. I've been training for 15 years. Test Masteron, Anavar, GH, insulin, or my go-to PEDs. Okay, so in this case, if you have an enlarged aorta, obviously I'm not a cardiologist and not a doctor, but what I've noticed myself when I had heart enlargement, which was uniformly lean and my aorta was normal, when I came off and I still used Nebivolol, a beta blocker, everything came back to normal. I did mostly cardio. This was during the time that I had non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and I wanted to starve it off. So basically, did 30 minutes of cardio per day. I took Nebivolol. I didn't train for 6 weeks, and then I went in for an echocardiogram on my heart, and my heart literally shrank to normal size. Um, my injection fraction improved a little bit, but it was never bad. So maybe do that first, right? Consider that a new challenge to get your aorta and your heart down, right? Please run this protocol past your doctor and then slowly build your way back up while keeping the dosages and the training intensity moderate, because basically now you are handicapped. And that means you also have to keep this in the back of your head that every time you go back to test Anavar, Masteron, growth hormone, insulin, and train fucking insane, which you should be doing on a cycle like that, and then the aorta might be worse again. And then you use Telmisartan or Nebivolol or whatever you prefer to keep your blood pressure under control, so you know that the enlarged aorta is not going to grow right back, right? So hopefully you can shrink it with a protocol like this. Again, discuss it with your fucking cardiologist. Right? This is just an idea that I'm throwing out there in the universe. Your cardiologist should make the ultimate decision in discussion with you. But this would be the route that I would go with personally. So get your heart size and your aorta down. Don't train for a while. Nebivolol to reduce your heart rate and reduce the blood pressure, and then maybe you can positively remodel your heart, and then slowly get back into the gym again to the point you don't make it worse again, right? But it might mean that your training intensity won't be as stellar as it was before. Spitz kicks, first cycle 500 test E, too high. I did 20 milligrams Austrian cycle to cut, and it fucked my lipids. Yes, I could have told you that. Liver enzymes with ancillaries. Also use an ACE inhibitor. Okay, so you would do best to watch all of the first cycle videos. I'll link the first one um, down below, and there's actually a multitude of different protocols that we go over. This is the one, right? Because a 500 test is way too high. I would start with half of that, but it depends on a boatload of different things. And since you already made a huge fucking mistake with Asterine, a newbie mistake, right? You get one newbie mistake, and then you can't make any mistakes anymore, because otherwise you get bitch slapped by the rest of the community, myself included, and it won't be a bitch slap. It'll be this fucking pointy elbow. So watch those videos and educate yourself, and then you'll agree with me that 250 milligrams testosterone and Tate is the way to go. And maybe you don't need an ACE inhibitor, or maybe you don't need Nebivolol, because hopefully on a cycle like that, and with the information they'll give you in those videos, your blood work parameters should be good. All right? Cool. Alexandra, for the Soleus pain, foam rolling, stretching, and analyzing your gait pattern. What the hell is that? Gait pattern. Steve, you should know this. Biological characteristics, manner of style. Oh, a manner of style, how the person usually walks. Well, maybe he's crip walking. You know, maybe he's got that, that pimp limp. You're like, hey, homies. Well, it's not my culture, so I wouldn't know how to impersonate it. But yeah, good point, right? Foam rolling, stretching, and seeing how you walk. I think if you go, at least here in Thailand, if you go to some of the shopping malls, they have a running track, or and like these sensors, or you can stand on, and then it can kind of see how you balance yourself, whether that's walking or standing upwards, and then it can sell you very fancy $300 shoes, right? Bring a credit card, but don't buy the shoes, and then go through the analysis, and you just see what your gait pattern is. Usually, you can get a free analyze trial run if you pretend that you're interested in shoes. Liking is too much of an effort, Steve. Yeah, be realistic. Why have such high expectations? I don't expect anything anymore, man. I got weeks of death threats, my wife included. So I don't expect shit. I don't expect shit anymore. Where's the shirt? I'm going on holiday tomorrow, dude. That shirt is packed. It's my favorite shirt, and I'm gonna wear it on the beach. Yeah, 3 days. 3 fucking days of holiday. I'm so tired. I'm so tired of doing research. All the studies that I reviewed for Anavar and Cardarine and halotestin and Masteron, I need some time away from the computer. So if you don't see, well, I will still post videos, obviously, but the next 2 days, 3 days, I'm almost offline. Yeah. So the shirt is in the suitcase, and then at one point you might see the shirt pop back up on Instagram while I'm sipping on margaritas. Yeah. Matas Whetstone. I take 200 milligrams, 1 milliliter every other week. Is that testosterone? Doesn't sound like a good cycle. If it's testosterone, then yes. Um, oh, wait. I take 200 milligrams, 1 milliliter every other week. No, that doesn't sound like a good cycle. I also lived for 6 months and noticing results now. So you're a newbie to the gym, but at least you're going to the gym. 100 milligrams testosterone per week is okay, but I would not do 1 milliliter every other week. I would do a quarter milliliter at least twice per week. Do your blood work soon. Let's say 2 weeks into making this adjustment from 200 milligrams one times every 2 weeks to a quarter milliliter 2 times per week. Check your blood work parameters in 2 weeks. See where your serum estradiol, total testosterone, luteinizing hormone, follicle stimulating hormone. Basically, all of the blood work parameters, which I linked down below. Just do the whole fucking thing. Right? So you know what's going on within your body, and then adjust from there. Mm-mm-mm. Hopefully, I'm not missing any member questions. Man, it's a whole flood of super chats again. All those people asking me questions. It's just I can't hear you. I can't hear you over the sound of the super chat. Sorry. High blood pressure and it's not gear. At 750 tests to 100, less 2 to 3 kilos of water, but blood pressure is still 145 over 80. Uh, P66. So that's P66. Is it the heart rate? 80 milligrams Telmisartan and 5 milligrams Libido, no effect, and calcium and magnesium on point. EKG normal, CRP normal. Still that high, huh? I don't know. Maybe too much stimulants, caffeine, ephedrine, yohimbine, high stress. Maybe you're taking that inhibits the metabolism of cortisol, and now you get mineral corticoid overstimulation. Maybe your aldosterone levels are very high. So it looked to me like looks like you're doing everything right. So at this point, it's just pure speculation. Again, maybe take a week off from the gym. Um, maybe going for more blood work. See where your aldosterone levels are at. See where your cortisol levels are at. See where fasting insulin levels are at. See if your electrolytes might be off. I mean, yeah. Based on this, I wouldn't exactly know what's going on. So please keep digging. Yeah, please keep digging because it shouldn't be this high. Maybe an upcoming sickness. I know. I'm just troubleshooting here. I don't know because it looks like you're doing everything right. All right, next one. Remind us again the benefits of fasted cardio. It's good to get the day started. Yeah, and it seems to be more favorable for fat loss if you use pharmacological aids. And don't say that it doesn't matter when you do cardio or not. Right? If you want to go with the scientific literature, find me a study where they compared fasted cardio to post-workout cardio when combining that with fat burners. Right? Then I'll change my mind. But from all the research that I've done, where it says that it doesn't matter when you do cardio, fat burning aids were not co-administered. So I like to get my day started by doing fasted cardio purely to get it out of the way. I still feel that I get more favorable fat loss in the morning, but I also take injectable carnitine before I do my fasted cardio. I watch YouTube videos, and then afterwards I have my breakfast and I get the day started, and then I'm highly productive. Whereas if I were to do cardio post workout, which I'm now combining with walking in between sets, so it's way more time efficient. That's why I'm financially secure. And I'm not doing buttloads of cardio so I can get lean. I'm doing cardio as efficiently as possible, where I'm not in a highly cognitive state yet in the morning because my coffee and my food hasn't really kicked in yet. And then I do walking in between sets instead of doing post workout cardio. So I still get my steps in. This is why I work so much. Yeah. Next one. Kratos. Prolactin 20 on 8 I use growth hormone, no porn. How can I lower it? What was your stack again? Well, I probably can't find it. But I would look into L-tyrosine and vitamin B6, B5P, maybe 2,000 milligrams or 1,000 milligrams L-tyrosine plus 50 milligrams vitamin B6, B5P to start with 2 times per day, and then slowly building that up to increase your dopamine levels, which will suppress your prolactin levels. Is there anything on your cycle that could, what, let me scroll up, that could raise your prolactin levels that much? Kratos. There we go. Oh, you're on 2 grams of steroids, but which steroids, bro? Is that 2 grams of Nandrolone? All right, Kratos, specify which drugs you're on, and then we'll take it from there. I'm going to scroll all the way down again. All right. So, L-tyrosine, vitamin B6, B5P, and let me know what your stack exactly is, because maybe too much nandrolone, too much stresolone, too much trenbolone for those 2 grams of steroids. What about smoking weed? Kratom, right? GHB. All right, where are we? Mara Canuck on testosterone and Tate 250 milligrams per week. Pharma, great. Great. 2 times a week. So that's 125 milligrams Monday, Friday, right? Yet I can't maintain erection. Upon checking blood work, estradiol is 51.1, might be a little bit too high. Free testosterone 30.8. Yeah, that's not too high. Total testosterone 8, 8.3. That's probably a different word. So that's 8.3. Is that 837 nanograms per deciliter? SHBG. Wait a minute. Oh, that's the range. Okay, 30 on 5 to 21. Testosterone is 8.3. SHBG is 17.3. Your total testosterone is pretty low for this much testosterone. Yeah, maybe you get a lot of conversion. Maybe you tested your total testosterone the day before the injection. Maybe you get a lot of conversion to estradiol and dihydrotestosterone. I look to a low dose of Progesterone. But your SSBG is already 18. No, no, don't do the Proviron. Look into 6.25 milligrams of Romsin Monday, Wednesday, Friday to bring your estradiol down, and watch the Libido video to give yourself some more ideas. Let's see, because that video is fucking killer. That cures all. The last Libido video you ever need. God, that thumbnail was so much fun to make. All right, linked down below. Right, look into your hormone balance. Maybe your DHEA and pregnenolone levels are too low. But I would say for now, I find your total testosterone suspect low. Your estradiol you can manipulate with an aromatase inhibitor, and then check your DHEA and pregnenolone levels next time you go in for blood work. Maybe a couple of weeks down the line when you know that your estradiol levels have kind of reached homeostasis. Maybe switch to daily microadministrations to reduce the conversion of testosterone into estradiol and dihydrotestosterone and keep testosterone levels a little bit more stable. And then again, when you're going for blood work, check your DHA and pregnenolone levels because maybe those are bottomed out and you need to supplement with DHA and pregnenolone, which I'll discuss in the Libido video. All right. How low is low dose prescribed Anavar in an HRT setting worth skewing the lipids alongside normal TRT in a caloric deficit? Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Hell yes. Yeah. 5 to 10 milligrams. 12.5 milligrams if you get those pesky 50 milligram tablets. So you have to cut those into 4. Anavar is always worth it, man. Anavar is fucking great. Let me link the Anavar video down below in case you haven't watched it. That video fucking killed. 110,000 views in a month. So hopefully the Halo testing video will just do just as well. But the Primo bowling video tanked. I don't get it. You'll see. You know what we're gonna notice? I'll do all these steroid videos, right? And then all the orals do well. You know why? Because people are fucking pussy to inject. Yeah. The Annabelle video, 100% it will do well. I already know. I'm going to do that after the just standalone video, unless there's like a boatload of studies, and then I'll do Turinable first. Because again, I have PTSD now from going to PubMed, Science Direct, Google Scholar, and all of these research websites. I need a little bit of a break so I can pump those videos out faster. Because again, after Halo testing, man, that too much research, man. Too much research for a video that probably is not going to get so many views. So to answer your question, yes, Anavar is always worth it. And if it's prescribed, Anavar, oxandrolone from a compounding pharmacy. I mean, I would send it to me, dude. I'll take care of it for you. Redditor's real. All right, is there a question to that? Oh yeah, don't get started, dude. Like button is people are allergic to it. Yeah, reverse psychology, right? If you're natty if you don't hit the like button. I agreed. What's a good dose of MOTS-c? 5 milligrams twice per week. Yeah, that seems to be the most effective dose. And they sell 10 milligram vials, which I think is stupid because, again, you need to inject it as soon as you reconstitute it within 10 minutes. because the peptide seems to denature quite rapidly. So, again, if you inject it too fast after reconstitution, you might get anaphylactic shock. But if you wait 5 to 10 minutes, then the reaction shouldn't be that severe. 5 milligrams twice per week. That worked best for me. And most people that I recommended it to. Maybe not a good insult considering I'm natty. Yeah, Iron Grid. Iron Grid is natty, and Octavian is natty also. Emperor, are you natty? Well, you're asking about MOTS-c. You're probably not natty. Well, not according to Wada because I'm a super shredder. Ah, right. Okay, yeah. Well, then you're not natty for sure. Uh, let's see. All right. Rip on J Dust. What is the best time to start HCG? 250 milligrams every 5.5 days. That's not HCG, right? We're talking about testosterone. 500 milligrams per week. Throughout the cycle, after 6 weeks or 2 weeks before the cycle ends. I would add it in, let's say 4 weeks after being on cycle. But if it's your first rodeo, so you can get some blood work on testosterone only, which again, 500 milligrams testosterone per week on your first cycle is probably too high. But if you're already into it, well, you're in for a wild ride. Go do your blood work as soon as possible to see where your serum estradiol levels are at. And then you add in the HCG because HCG will surely stimulate testosterone production and estrogen production in the testicles, and thus serum levels go up. But if you already have a firm grasp on your total testosterone and estradiol levels without the HCG, then you can manipulate your estrogen levels by taking an aromatase inhibitor, and thus the addition of HCG will not worsen your estradiol levels more because you already put something preventatively in place. So I would say, well, now you add in the AT or you add in the ATG after you go in for blood work. And if this is one of those cycles that's one of many, then add it in from the beginning. Yeah, 250 IUs to 500 IUs 3 times per week. What's that shirt called? This is Young LA when I was still sponsored with them. I don't think this one is available, but this one makes my arms look good. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Still juicy. What methods do you take to ensure you avoid bacterial infections from gear? Pharmaceutical grade. It's not rocket science. I've seen somebody get life-threatening mycobacterium from gear, and vitamin B12 injections. Does boiling gear help? Yeah, that might help. That's basically pasteurizing your gear, right? And killing all the bacteria. But just guys, just use pharmaceutical grade, man. I know it's more expensive. I know your options are limited, but if you can't build a physique and test Primo and Anavar, then you really have no business taking the other ones. You know, and dude, look at how I looked on on a cycle of a boatload of tests and aromatase inhibitor. I mean, anybody can look like that, dude. You just have to put in the work. So get pharmaceutical testosterone, get an aromatase inhibitor, whether that's pharmaceutical or an underground lab where you know they're doing the job properly, and then you don't have to worry about bacterial infections. You know, really, it's all proper. Fred, go. What do you think about zero drinks? Harmless. Yeah, I haven't really looked into them in a very long time. I think there was, for a while it was circulating that those aspartame or some of the sweeteners can cause an insulin response. I'm not sure if that's entirely true nowadays. They may always gave me a little bit of indigestion and acid reflux and made me hold water. So there's definitely a response to it. Man, I drink coffee and water, dude. Oh, and whiskey. I'm still a man, dude. Still got to get my whiskey in, bro, and it's double barrel. Go fuck yourself. It's not cheap whiskey. It's not 12 pipers. Hell no. It's it's Macallan, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, and then if you want to mix your whiskey, right, of course, we're not going to mix Macallan into a Coke Zero. You'll take like a Johnny Walker Double Black or something, or there above. Not Johnny Walker Black, not Johnny Walker Red, right? The double black, green, blue, gold, or just fucking Jack Daniels, man. Jack Daniels, Coke Zero. Sign me up. Sign me up for that. Um, harmless. I mean, it's all chemicals, right? They're not found in nature. I shouldn't really talk too much because I took a lot of performance enhancing drugs, which are not found in nature either. I would just say I usually recommended my clients to have 1 0 drink per day, and we would always cut it out 2 weeks before the contest because many people notice some sort of a gastrointestinal upset, whether that's acid reflux or bloating or water retention. So why risk it, right? And if you're not prepping for a bodybuilding contest, I would just limit it to one per day. Yeah, don't be the guy that drinks like Coke Zero drinks or the zero diet drinks all day long, because I think it's going to mess with your intestinal tract, man. And whether you get an insulin tropic response out of it or not, um, check your blood glucose levels before and after and figure it out for yourself. Mm, mm, mm. Trump, natty or not? Uh, I don't know. He's pretty active. He's pretty lively for his age. Man, I wonder what's going to happen with the election year this year. Yeah, it's good luck, America. All right, where are we? You guys are babbling amongst yourself, but I got member questions and super chats to answer. Thank you, Steve. Again, for Gen Pop clients that don't want to dabble in too much performance enhancing drugs and such, what minerals and vitamins do you usually see people have a lack of? I know it's individual, but all right. Well, so usually people are vitamin D3 and magnesium deficient, but it could also be vitamin K deficient. I have an article about this which I should update, but it's kind of low on my priority list. It's about the year-round supplement stack, and I have a corresponding article with that. Give that one a read because oh, and this micronutrient deficiency one also. Give that one a read. I mean, it's still a good read. Of course, I need to redo it, but I need to redo so much stuff, and there's only so many hours in a day. So I'll link those down below, those two articles. Give those a read. It goes over everything, why we take them, whether you're enhanced or not, what the dosages are, at particular the dosages of the supplements, when you're on particular drug combinations. So it's a good read. Um, go through it. Excellent content as always. Thank you, Joe. Much appreciated. What do you think about Ace 262? Better than Anavar? No, fuck off. Fucking pathetic. Um, one estrogen blocker that is the best to use on a 250 milligrams testosterone in a Tate cycle. Letrozole, Nolvadex, should I take it as low of a dose that fixes the estradiol? Aromacin. Aromacin worsens your lipids the least out of all the aromatase inhibitors. So let's say you go with a estrogen lowering equivalent dose of Arimidex or letrozole, your lipids will be worse. And I think it's because Arimidex inhibits some of the steps of cholesterol metabolism, and thus serum cholesterol levels go up, and thus total cholesterol and LDL levels go up. Nolvadex, of course, has a metabolite, norendoxifin, which is a potent aromatase inhibitor, but Nolvadex also has clotting risk, and it lowers IGF-1 levels and raises liver enzymes, which you generally don't see with Arimidex unless you really overdo it and your serum estradiol levels are bottomed out. So aromacin, if you overdo the aromacin, obviously. So I would go to aromacin. Out of all methods to control your serum estradiol levels, besides diindolmethane and calcium diglucarate, if you need a medical aromatase inhibitor, I would go with aromacin exemestane. Yeah. Redditor, is there a question? Or are you just gonna keep dropping $2? Skipped over my super chat. All right, my bad. Scrolling up. Fred, go. Ah, I just answered it, dude. What are you talking about? I'm just behind. There's too many questions. There. This was posted what? 20 minutes ago. I'm 20 minutes behind. Chill. Chill, homie. Gonna shower real quick. Sweating like a motherfucker since there's no proper ventilation in this apartment. Octavian, you got this for now. Okay. All right, Octavian, we're counting on you. Uh, uh, all right, where are we? This one answered. Okay, we're looking for Redditor's Reels question. I don't see it. I'll take it $2. Much appreciated. All right, next one. Test is Pharma. Man, how much is this? I haven't seen this purple color in a while. RSD. Now we're gonna do a quick RSD to US dollars, so I know how long I need to answer this question. 2,500. Serbian dinar. $23. All right, you have my attention. Test is pharma grade, but you were spot on that I missed one injection and tested the day before the next one. Limp even when I don't miss. One more thing, I get post injection pain on some labs. Does it always mean that it's bad for me and that I should switch? Yeah, if some labs give you post injection pain, just move on to the next lab. I mean, there's a boatload of labs out there, and you should only support the one that gives you results and no post injection pain. And again, if your testosterone levels were that low, did I answer your previous? Yeah, you was 829 nanograms per deciliter, right? Um, yeah, then yes, of course, if you miss an injection, then testosterone levels will decline quite rapidly. So daily microadministrations, get your serum estradiol levels under control with an aromatase inhibitor. 2 to 3 weeks from now, check your levels again. Check your DHEA and pregnenolone. See if you need to supplement and watch that libido video. Order some Semax and DHEA preemptively. That combination will make you fucking cum buckets. And maybe add in some HCG, dude. HCG is great for libido. Gets me fucking hard. I mean, I use 1,000 IUs 3 times a week, and well, if I wasn't married, your sister would not be safe. Why are you limping, Steve? Steve, this. Chase, more tests will solve all problems. It's true, man. Test solves all. Testosterone solves depression. Testosterone solves, um, the low muscular physique. Testosterone makes you feel great. Testosterone, is, all things considering, test is still best, right? And the rest you add on top. Bullet bourbon, Lacy bourbon, Westland Pete whiskey, Johnny Walker red, black, double black, blue. Okay, red. I would forego unless that's your second bottle. If you're already plastered, then you can save yourself some money and go with Johnny Walker red because after like let's say 4 or 5 glasses, I mean you're not going to taste the different. And Westland peated whiskey. Have I had that one? I think I have. The other ones I definitely didn't have. That's not peated whiskey. You guys remember that I was fucking shit faced, right? For New Year's. I haven't touched that bottle since. Oh god, I have to put in my age again. Jesus. Oh, it's the month. Yeah. Fuck it. I'm gonna go to Google Images. This website. I think I had some of this. I know. I'm going on holiday. If they have it in the cigar lounge, I'll drink some Westland whiskey. Yeah, the bottle looks cool. Yeah, much appreciated, Mr. Camillo. Keep that mint flowing. Have no fear, Chase is here. Hell yeah. All right, we're out at the bottom. That's what she said. Okay, I can finally start answering some other questions. Where are we? You know, Trump is on the TRT. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, man. I mean, that RFK guy is on TRT clearly. Is he running, by the way? Is he a running mate? Robert F. Kennedy? Is he running? Announced that his campaign for the 2024 United States presidential election. Okay, so he's running. Good. Good. There's hope. There is hope. You Americans better get it right this year because last time you got it wrong. Right? And now HCG is gone. Oxandrolone is gone. All these peptides are gone. You guys better learn from your mistakes. Yeah. Well, that's enough on politics before you guys cancel me and I get more death threats. All right. Let's see. Let's do some fun super questions. Mm, 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 mm. I did see it, Rosal Ghoul, Rosal Coach. You probably won't see this, but the DHA and Pregnenolone video was so great. I added DHA to my stack immediately and noticed the difference. Yeah, it's a great addition. It's a great addition, man. It's I think everybody should be on it if their serum levels are less than middle of the reference range. I mean, it solves so many problems, and there's so much benefits. And I wanted to do another deep dive on DHA and Pregnenolone, and I recorded it, but I was so unhappy with it. It was kind of incoherent. Maybe it was just, I don't know, my period or something. And then I never got a chance to record it because I felt it was incoherent and incomplete. And then I started to do more research and I realized that it turned into a 2-hour video and that would get no views and wastes like hours of my editor's time. So that's on the back burner, maybe after we go through all the steroids. But, unfortunately, in this day and age, you have to get a return of investment on your time, right? So that video that I already made on DHA and Pregnenolone, I mean, I think it's good enough. And otherwise, follow David Lee, man. I mean, he's got multiple seminars on, or Dave Lee, multiple seminars on DHA and Pregnenolone. I'll get him on the podcast at one point. We'll probably talk about DHA and Pregnenolone for hours. Yeah. And then if everybody's like, it's not about trend, I'm not going to watch it. Chase Irons, I like RFKs. Your best chance at decriminalization steroids. You see that in Oregon, they're going to roll back the decriminalization of all drugs because now Oregon has turned to a zombie state. Nice try, but yeah, but Trump will win. It wouldn't surprise me, dude. It wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. But RFK indeed is the best bet for a little bit more relaxed laws. Maybe you can reverse all the mistakes that the Biden administration made regarding performance enhancing drugs. Do nasal spray peptides work? Yes, Semax Lank work, but BPC-157, NAD plus, and a couple of the peptides that are popular, I don't think they really work. I think that they're just there to sell to people who don't want to inject. But I'm of the firm opinion that you need to inject BPC-157 as close to the site of injury as possible. Even though BPC-157 was shown to have some neurotropic effects, just like HCG has some neurotropic effects, but it's probably negligible compared to Selank, Semax, and some of the other nasal sprays. All right. Do testosterone injections need to be pinned at the same time every other day or just sometime that day? Testosterone and Tate. Yeah, I would do the same time, right? Or maybe every day. It's just best to keep blood levels as stable as possible. So if you work it into your routine that you take a shower and then you brush your teeth, or you brush your teeth and then take a shower and then do your injections, then you usually get it around the same time of the day, right? And testosterone intake, of course, has a multiple day half-life. So if you miss it by a couple hours, it doesn't really matter that much. But if you miss it with a couple days, then yes, your serum levels will be low. And especially if you start doubling up on the injections, then you get a hormonal roller coaster, and you might as well go to Universal Studios if you like that kind of thing. You could probably get more bang for your buck and less side effects, and less vomiting, you know, violently after one of those rides. Precipice, what should you avoid stacking with amoxapine? I think of adding it to a neural stack of 5 cc cerebrolysine every other day, 100 milligrams for fluvoxamine every day, high dosages of EPA and DHEA, antioxidants, alpha GPC, uridine. Um, I think amoxapine you can stack with everything. I mean, we know that mildronate inhibits carnitine synthesis, and thus you shouldn't take it with carnitine. It kind of defeats the purpose, right? You're shifting energy consumption purely to glucose, to keep it simple. And of course, if you go with cardarine, you're shifting energy consumption mostly to fatty acids, and it's a good combination to combine that with carnitine. Cardarine plus carnitine and insulin plus mildronate. But with amoxapine, it doesn't really seem to matter. I might have mentioned something in the endurance deep dive video, but I can't remember. These compounds I don't really discuss that much with clients. So off the top of my head, I can't really remember what you should avoid, if anything. And the rest of the stack looks good. Yeah, the rest of the stack looks good. Getting post-injection pain with Pharma Iranian testosterone subcutaneous daily. Could be from the Russia's oil, but it could also be because it's faked. Because unfortunately, Iranian Aburain cysteine and Aburain testosterone and Tate, yeah, those are commonly faked. So check your C-reactive protein levels and then take it from there. Yeah, if you trust your source and it's one of the approved sources, then it's probably legit. But you can still get an adverse reaction from the Arteries oil, which is what the Iranians use for their pharmaceutical products. And then it's better to go with Pan Pharma or Bayer Testavirin in castor oil. But even some people get post-injection pain from that. So, right, keep rotating, keep trying out products until you get one that only gives you gains and no post-injection pain, and then stick with that, buy in bulk. 129 estradiol. Hopefully that's picograms per milliliter and not picomoles per liter, after which is normal. Gyno started, only got letro. Tips. Okay. 2.5 milligrams letro for 2 weeks. In the meantime, you have adequate time to source raloxifene. Do some research on raloxifene regarding blood clots, and then convince yourself if you want to take it or not. Then you start the raloxifene right after you do blood work again, and then see how you need to adjust your letrozole dose. And it also gives you enough time to get aromacin. Again, raloxifene doesn't have a metabolite, which is an aromatase inhibitor like tamoxifen has, but tamoxifen is not as good as preventing or shrinking gyno as raloxifene is. So, long story short, 2.5 milligrams letrozole until you get dry joints or you feel that the gyno is under control. Source raloxifene, source aromacin, and then do blood work before you add those in. You make the switch from letrozole to aromacin. Maybe you don't even need it for a while. And of course, adjust your cycle, because if you're on a gram test and you got this much estradiol because of it, then obviously your cycle needs to be adjusted going forward. All right, since I'm slow, I can't get over to MOTS-c. I've heard you say something about having to take compounds right after mixing. Will the peptide dose still be effective if you take 5 milligrams, then put it back in the fridge and take the rest of the 5 milligrams next week? No. So if you buy 5 milligram vials and inject the entire vial, don't buy 10 milligrams vial and then inject 5 milligrams and then keep the other 5 milligrams, because it loses potency and it might not even work at the second injection. So I would go with the 5 milligram vials. What cycle you recommend to cut down from 12 to 15% body fat to 8 to 10% body fat? Watch the video next week. It's not about cycles. It's about caloric restriction and dieting. You know, I hate to sound like a broken record, but on TRT you can easily get down and do it. I'm not even on anything. What the fuck? That's lean. I shaved my body because I'm going to the beach. So, all right, let's remove that. Here, see, trimming. That's lean. That's just HCG and FSH and a little bit of growth hormone, dude. So, but I'm dieting. I'm doing cardio, you know? So watch the video next week that will drop about how to remove stubborn body fat. Give that one a watch, and you'll see with every topic, whether that's losing fat from the face or the lower back or the lower abs or the lower body or the chest, every time I have to mention that it's about diet and exercise, and that you can add in these compounds when you're 10% body fat, because that's the only time you actually need them. You know, you'll get free fat loss anyway if you just follow the fucking program. Zaya, is soft tissue growth of the nose on 8 IU's growth hormone guaranteed? Well, I took 8 IU's growth hormone for a while, and my nose is not any bigger than it used to be, even though my nose is quite big. I mean, fuck. You should see my dad nose. Fuck, it's even worse. Water retention on new 18.2 milligrams Skytrofa dose is really bad. What is Skytrofa? Is that a long acting? Oh, that's the pagelated somatotropin, right? Makes nodes bigger, more bulbous. 18.2 milligrams, but how many IUs is that? Because it's pagelated. So what's the equivalent? Milligram to IU. Is that 8 IUs? No, I'm assuming 2.5 IUs per milligram. So uh, 18.2 divided by 2.5. Yeah, that's about 7.38 IUs. Okay. Um, yeah, you might grow on that uh, amount of IU, but it's probably water retention also. So if you're worried about that, maybe take some time off, right? Unless you get this medically prescribed for height, when you shouldn't be asking these kinds of questions in the Vigorous Q&A. Still, you know, it's in most cases it's temporary. But if you're doing a height protocol and you're still under development, then yeah, some of those things might be permanent because your bone tissue obviously is still maturing, and now it's maturing on growth hormone. So run it past your doctor, Isaiah. Tyson or Jake Paul? Did you see the latest training video of Tyson? I fucking hope he destroys Jake Paul. Those guys disgust me, dude. Jake Paul and Logan Paul. That's like if you want to put two people as a representative in the dictionary of everything that's wrong with humanity, those two. Yeah, put Andrew Tate in there also. Fuck. Yeah. How's the UK Arnold? How's that going? Is that finished? Oh no, yeah, it should be going on right now, right? Uh, uh, uh. Oh, let's see if Heidi wins. I think Heidi is going to win. Where are we? Good evening. Does MCT oil upregulate the androgen receptor? So I talked about this with Dr. Todd, and I included some of the research that I was able to find in the um, what was it in the carrier video, which is linked down below. But I did not include it in the androgen receptor video because I feel that the scientific evidence that I was able to find is quite thin and not very conclusive. There might be something to say for using MCT oil to upregulate the androgen receptor. It was the caprylic acid that does this in the prostate. Actually, I should have included it in the androgen receptor video because I included other prostate upregulating or downregulating androgen receptor compounds. Yeah. So, but I feel that the scientific evidence was a little bit thin. So, yeah, there might be something to say for it, man. If you research caprylic acid, which is 30% within MCT oil, then you might see some overlap of the androgen receptor, but it's in most cases it's in the context of prostate cancer, which might not translate into skeletal muscle androgen receptors. Matt Epton, what's up, bro? I haven't seen you in a Vigorous Q&A in a while. Have a great weekend. You too. Yeah, you too. Lewis, UK Arnold was sick. Just been. Okay. Is it finished? Did Samson win or did Heidi win? Let us know. Cody Wades. What doses of IGF-1R3 would you suggest if Increlex cannot be sourced? Yeah, not everybody was as lucky as I am. I would start at 50 micrograms bilaterally and then work your way up. Right? It's some guys end up with 500 micrograms, some guys end up at 200 micrograms in total, right? So that's 50-50 bilaterally. And it depends on how you respond and what else you're doing, right? If you're doing 200 tests, 20 milligrams Anavar, and 2 IUs growth hormone, then I would not go over 50 IUs or 50 micrograms IGF-1 LR3 because you need synergy, right? If you want to do 500 micrograms IGF-1 LR3 for gains, then I would run at least a gram a test. And maybe, and the Anavar could stay the same because it's a pretty hefty dose already. And maybe 4 IUs growth hormone, right? And maybe at 4 IUs growth hormone, you don't need IGF-1 LR3 because your serum IGF-1 levels are already high. Yeah. Hey, Steve, what cheat meal are you planning for Sunday? Tomorrow I'm going to a steak restaurant in Padia. I'm not going to say which one because otherwise fans might show up. So I'm going to a steak restaurant with a couple of my good friends that live in Padia, to kind of catch up because I haven't been there in a while. And that's the plan. And I might have some lunch. I know somewhere. I should arrive in the afternoon. I'll have a light lunch and then go to the gym. And then kind of kick back and then prepare for dinner. Dress up, go to dinner, go to a nice cigar lounge. You maybe get intoxicated. And fuck it, life is short. It's been a while. It's been 3 months since we had the Vigorous Q&A. No, I did drink here and there, but I didn't drink at home. That bottle that I had on the Boozers Q&A, that hasn't been touched. Maybe we should bring that. It's funny. I have a bottle of wine in my closet that's been there for 3 years. I got it as a gift, and it's a good bottle of wine, and it just sits there. I need another hobby. All right. Does the quality of pharmacy grade products vary from country to country? Iran Pharma worse than US Pharma? Yeah, I feel that's the case. And every country has different standards, right? So, of course, Arachis oil is being uniformly used amongst multiple countries. So, Iran uses it for their testosterone, enanthate, and cystanone products. And cystanone is very popularly brewed with Arachis oil. And then here in Thailand, somehow they get ethyl oleate FDA approved. I think Unigen was the one that got it FDA approved. And then Meridian produced Cypionex and Testolic. And now a lot of the underground labs use ethyl oleate also. But I think only Spain has one product, which is olive oil and ethyl oleate. And again, I discuss all of that in the carrier oil video. But yeah, the quality varies from country to country, man. But hey, man, Iranian Sinatropin, big fucking great GH. So how much it varies from country to country, and it might be a 5% discrepancy, but the carrier oils might be significantly different. And again, I would avoid Arachis oil and ethyl oleate at all cost. Yeah. All right, guy, let's wrap it up. I'm getting fucking tired. It's been a very long week. So here's your notice. No more super chats. So to summarize, yeah, we've been going on for 1 hour, 40 minutes, and I'm exhausted. So to summarize, Merrick Health, I did a webinar with them last Friday. I'll upload the HD version with all of the slides sometime next week. Hopefully next week we can drop the halotestin deep dive. Again, long story short, Tay and Clark was about 99% right, but I found some other scientific evidence which doesn't really overlap. And of course, in the fitness industry, we don't only take halotestin, we take halotestin in combination with a boatload of other compounds, and that can surely potentiate some liver stress. Regarding HPTA downregulation, a very promising and interesting results, I'll tell you that. And next week I have a video dropping, which I already made, but it's a redo, so new information and higher production quality about how to lose stubborn body fat from particular areas of the body: face, chest, lower abs, lower back, lower body, and which compounds you can deploy when you get stuck losing further body fat. Okay, that's it. We're going to throw in the towel. I got to wake up early tomorrow. So I'll see you guys next weekend. Thanks so much for joining. I hope you guys have a great weekend, as I will I. And yeah, we'll see you next week. So peace out. See you guys later.